a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay at home, Disney Dad.
Oh, it's Atlantis. Milo returns. I asked my son, who's a big fan of the original Atlantis movie, if he wants to watch the Atlantis sequel with me, and he says it's not the real Atlantis sequel. Okay, then. We press play. There's no way I'm going to remember all these characters because there's like 15 of them, but we start with another attack on Atlantis. This is how the actual Atlantis movie started, if I remember. This is like a recap. They teleport the mom up. This is like copy and paste from the actual Atlantis movie. Wait, is this the actual Atlantis movie in the wrong case? This is 100% the wrong movie in this case. That sucks. Okay, if this isn't on Disney Plus, this is going to be the shortest review ever. It is on Disney Plus. Let's go. Let's press play on Disney Plus. Atlantis, Milo's Return, but apparently not the real sequel to Atlantis, according to my son. We got French boatsmen explaining how happy they are. Nothing bad ever happens on the sea anymore. And just like that, a mechanical sea monster attacks. They radio for help that the Kraken has come and kills everyone. We jump to Kita, and she recaps how Atlantis was sunk, but now it's back up. The whole city, all her people are reborn. Thanks to the crystal, everyone is thriving again. Don't say that aloud, girl. Don't say that aloud. Dad had hid the crystal, and as queen, she questions if she's doing the right thing, bringing the crystal back out. The team return, and again, I remember all these characters. They're great, but not their names. They all eat around this table, and the Kraken monster is brought up, and they all agree this is not good. I guess the creators of this killing machine had used some of the Atlantean crystal magic to bring this Kraken to life. Kita says Milo and she will head to the surface. They'll get to the bottom of this mystery. Now we start going like perfect strangers here, where Kita's like, a life preserver? How does this device possibly preserve life? She's not from around here, right? Okay, Audrey is a little engineer girl. Razor Ramon is back. He's the weapons guy. They call the Kraken the Krakeen. Is Kraken copywritten? They're talking about the Krakeen, and it just pops up from the water, and it's on. Everyone runs to their stations, and it's time for war, but the Krakeen is ready, and things go wrong immediately. They end up in this foggy town called Creekan. Well, that's a hell of a coincidence. And there's a creepy old man, and he's like, you should leave. I'm honestly really enjoying this. The animation is great. The characters are great. They stay in some inn, and the keeper is like, bleak here, folks. We would all move, but this is all we have. Edgar Walgood, we learn, is the mean old guy from the dock. He owns this town, and well, surprise, surprise, he's evil, okay? The team has this little creature. It looks like the little purple lizard from Frozen 2, and this one also shoots fire. That's cool. I wonder if they stole that from this. These are all good characters, like I said. I feel like with the right writers and the proper reboot, the Atlantis franchise could be a big moneymaker with an older Disney audience. This is good stuff. While they are out, Walgood shows up, and he tells the innkeeper to gather up all the things from the travelers and burn them, because he assumes they're dead, because I guess he sicked the Kraken on them. But surprise, they're not. They show back up, and he scuttles off. And they're like, tell me about how he sold his soul to the devil, they ask the innkeeper. So folklore says Walgood made a deal with the devilfish. The town would be provided for, but no one could ever leave, and the sun would never shine again. I guess in exchange for his eternal life, I'd make that deal. I'm on the couch, and my daughter is on the floor, and she rolls twice over to me, so she's below my feet. She looks up and goes, this is Scooby-Doo. Then rolls back to where she was in front of the TV like this. That made my day. They go into the mines, and they find that all the workers have been hypnotized, and Audrey falls under the spell as well and walks forward, and the Krakeen is back, and the fight is on. Razor Ramon lights dynamite and throws it at the ceiling, which collapses on the Krakeen and allows them to escape and regroup. They're escaping, and Razor Ramon falls under the monster's hypnotic spell, and Team Atlantis versus the Krakeen. Round 2 is on. They regroup after a fun back and forth and torpedo the monster, and he explodes, and the old guy Walgood turns into dust. Like, he actually decomposes and blows away. The curse is lifted, the sun came back out, and the fish came back, which was something I didn't mention, but that's important. The fish are gone, but now they're back. Kita is worried that the crystal is too powerful. Maybe she should bury it again like her father did. One adventure ends and another begins. There's trouble in the southwest. There's a sandstorm made up of killer coyotes. Okay, people? You feel me? There's a sandstorm made up of killer coyotes. What more do you want? Right? I wanted to say that twice. This guy called Atlantian Mystery Inc. because they found an Atlantean artifact after the attack. An old man is in a body cast and he was attacked by the sandstorm coyotes. The animation of these animals is amazing. This does feel like Scooby-Doo. Maybe that's why this failed. Once again, we get perfect strangers as Kita tries to understand these crazy Earth customs. They're in a gift shop, and in true Scooby-Doo fashion, we get a smooth-talking cowboy shyster that may or may not be the guy behind the sand coyotes, right? We meet another new character, a wise Native American, who is animated spookily, so I'm guessing he's the decoy character. They want us to think he's the bad guy, but he's not actually the bad guy. As they all drive around, they're attacked by the sand coyotes, and suddenly this Native American guy disappears. As the sand coyotes crash the truck, they're stranded. They find the missing crate. I guess there was a missing crate. The bad guy, cowboy, says he found it in the ditch after the other old guy in the hospital was attacked. There's a pot in the crate, and I guess it's a cursed pot. They all agree that if the pot is returned, maybe that'll settle the restless sand coyote spirits. This is good stuff. This is good stuff, okay? Maybe I was wrong. The possessed, teleporting Native American seems to be actually the bad guy. What a swerve. They try to return the pot, but they aren't quite sure where it goes in the tunnels. And then bad cowboy tosses sleeping gas into the cave and knocks them all out. He leaves them for dead. But the fire lizard from Frozen comes back. It chews through the ropes. It frees them. And we get the third act death scare where Milo thinks all of his friends are dead and crushed in a collapsing mine, but they're not. They break the pot, and the sand coyotes appear, and that wasn't the real pot that they destroyed. It was a decoy, and Milo returns the real pot, and the Native American returns it as like, you guys seem like nice people, but like, still can't let you leave with this secret, gotta kill you. They say, wait, we have a secret too, and he's like, cool, well, I'll be killing you now. And they get swarmed by the sand coyotes, but then it clears, and the Native American was like, I put you to a test. If you had told me your secret, I knew you couldn't have been trusted to carry my secret. So by not telling me your secret, you passed my test and I can trust you with my secret. Watch out for this guy, master of reverse psychology right here. We jump into the third story, A Winter Thunderstorm, a stolen spear. We are off on our third and final adventure of this VHS tape. A spear was stolen, and it was some Norse god kind of guy. Oh shit, it was the Spear of Destiny. That's not a good thing to be missing. That sounds important. He's gonna call in the Norse. He's gonna call the Norse gods with it. Okay, so I guess some guy's been phoning all week, being like, "Can I please buy that Spear of Destiny?" And the guy that owns the institute, they're like, "No." And he's like, "I'm not selling it to you." And now it's stolen. I wonder who could it have been? Like, it's almost a clue. We keep saying the word Ragnarok for some reason. They look at a journal and they find out it was an Atlantean spear. Okay, remember how like 10 minutes ago I said this could be a franchise if they rebooted properly and they could make some serious money with the adults? They would need to not do this. Everything has the power of Atlantis. It's like Superman and Kryptonite. We find out this guy wants to use the spear to, quote, bring on Armageddon and usher in Revelations and the Rapture and the end of the world. Damn. Okay. They go to Iceland, and a decent ice monster is blowing Winter Storm with their plane. This is good stuff, but again, this is so Scooby-Doo. And they just need to move past everything is somehow Atlantean, like I said, unless they lean into it like the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, and they make like a mini-series of like 24 episodes, and each episode they have to go and track down one different stolen Atlantean artifact that's been used for evil after it's been taken. I'd watch the hell out of that. The monster freezes them, but the guy with the stolen spear brings them back to life. Hailstorm is this guy's name, and he cares not that the spear will bring about the end of the world and doom all of mankind. Oh, he's that guy. He's out of his mind. He thinks Kita is his daughter, Broomhilda. Broomhilda. That's a girl's name that needs to come back. I should have named this one Broomhilda. Again, the pacing, animation, storytelling is cut and paste Scooby-Doo, but that's not a bad thing. But yeah, these individual episodes are 100% the classic Scooby-Doo formula from top to bottom. Hailstorm, which I never got to ride, by the way, uses his sword of destiny and swirls it into the lava and brings a lava monster to life and calls him Ragnarok. Now we have like a volcano monster and a snow monster. It seems like this is going to take care of itself, but instead, the snow and the volcano monster combine powers. Hailstorm is like, one will turn the air into fire and the other the land to ice. That's not good. That's not good. Razor Ramon asks Milo, "Hey Chico, you got a plan, man?" And he does. They set bombs and the monster thinks the other monster turned on them and they fight each other. Then Kita grabs the sword, and as the sword and the Soren music swell and play, They blast the monster and they end all this. Razor Ramon tells Kita that she should lock up the spear, and she looks at it with wide eyes and says, I have a better place to put it. No, they return to Atlantis, and we come full circle where she does not want to hide the crystal stuff anymore because it's dangerous, and instead she shares the light with the world, and the soaring music swells again, and Atlantis rises up from the sea with a good old force field around it. And although my son was right, and this wasn't really a sequel as much as the first 3 episodes of a failed weekly series, this feels like an actual ending, honestly. This was Scooby-Doo, but it was fun.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis
What do you
Anderson.
think?
What we have is interviewing style is not best. His interviewing style is not best. I was wondering if the man has appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has he's allowed to be employed for so long. With that standards of journalism and personal appearance, the standards of journalism and personal appearance that he has. Thank you.
Bruh! Bruh!